Hello lovelies, welcome once again. Welcome back to my kitchen, the Cookilicious kitchen, where we always make amazing recipes the easiest way. And I am Rhoda Joy. Well, today's recipe is inspired by a friend of mine who loves fish roll. So she loves fish roll, but has a little challenge with it, in the sense that she doesn't have an oven to make it, and she does not like the fried version of fish roll. So today I'm going to be taking you on how we can make that lovely fish roll that you love so much without an oven and without it not being fried. If you fall into that group, so let's go right into the cooking process. So we are going to be using fish, so you can use any fish of your choice. So I seasoned it with pepper flakes, salt, thyme, curry, and seasoning. Okay, so I actually I marinated it and kept it in the fridge, so that's why it's like this. So you can actually do your own straightforward without doing this process. I just prepped it yesterday so I could use today. So we're going to let it cook before we go to the next process. So the fish is cooked now. It took approximately 5 minutes to get cooked. So because you're still going to fry it, so we're going to be deboning it. We're going to actually remove all these bones from it. A clean pan, I've added oil into it, just little quantity. Please, this should be on a low heat. I'm going to be adding my onion, and I'm going to be frying this for 2 minutes until it's translucent. So it's translucent now, so I'm going to be adding at least 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. So feel free to use any tomato paste of your choice. So I'm going to turn until the paste is well incorporated with the onion. At this point, I'm going to add my seasonings. So I'm using black pepper. I'm going to add like a teaspoon. I'm going to add cinnamon powder, a teaspoon. I'm going to add my curry. I'm going to add my garlic and ginger spice. Then I'm going to stir properly. I'm going to add the fish now. Make sure your fish is properly deboned, okay? And you are going to stir properly now. So you can see I did not add salt, so I'm adding salt now. The reason is because I already parboiled the fish with salt, so I wanted to be careful of the salt I'm going to add. So I'm going to add just a little salt into it. So I'm going to be using onga spice for stew. This will actually bring the color out. So I'm going to stir. So finally, I'm going to add my carrots and my cabbage. I just like the flavor in it. So this part is totally optional, so you can actually skip it out. But it just adds more flavor. So we're going to turn it off because we don't want the carrots and the cabbage to overcook, because we are still going to put it somewhere else. Okay, so at this point, turn off the heat and let it cool down. Add approximately 300 grams of flour in a bowl. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt, in a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm also going to add a teaspoon of sugar rather. So I'm going to mix properly. So I'll still make it well. adding grounded nutmeg for flavor. I'll stir around. I'll still make it well. 50 grams of butter. Now you can, if you want to, the essence of butter is to make the dough soft. If you add more butter, the dough will be softer. But there's an issue there. If you add so much butter, it will make your dough too soft. So you just have to be careful with the butter you add. And if you add less butter, your dough becomes strong. So depend on the gram you're making for. So you can just look up online and know how much gram of butter goes for how much gram of flour. Okay, so I'm going to mix properly. Make sure you mix properly. You can use your hand to mix. Okay, so I'm still going to make a well and add my egg. So I already added my egg. I'm using 1 egg. So I'm going to be adding, so you're going to be using cold water. Don't add so much water, you can do it in bits. So I'm going to still add more water. You can actually add flavor if you want. So off camera, I added milk flavor to it. So you can add if you want. Okay. All right. So the dough is still a bit sticky. So at this point, I'm going to work with my hands. So I'll transfer it to my work surface. And if you don't have a work surface, you can actually use a tray, the back of a tray to do it. Okay. So I'm going to work with it until it's soft and fluffy. Okay. So you're going to do it until it's soft. So we're done with it. So you can see it's bouncing and it's not sticky. So I've divided into 4 equal doughs. So I'm going to flour my surface and I'm going to roll out. The more you roll it, the thinner it becomes, so you know how you want it to be. So I'm going to cut off the edges. Always avoid adding so much at the edge because most times it will just pop out if it's not properly wrapped. So we're going to be folding now. Okay. Close the edge with egg if you want. So I'm not closing my edge because my dough is a bit soft, so the edge is properly closed. So I'm going to dividing it into 3. So I'll do the rest and I'll show you. I'm all done and set. Now, because I'm going to be using a stove, okay, and a pot instead of an oven, so I'm going to be using, I don't want to use a pan. So in case you don't have a pan, you can still use. So you're going to use a pot cover. So I've greased my pot cover with butter. So I'm going to be placing it gently into it. So this is what we have here. So you can do it in 2 batches, not to overcrowd it, okay? But I just want to do it like this because I'm actually going to my stove heating up. I'm using a stove. You can see it. So I see my sand heating up in the stove. So you have to heat your sand up until your sand is hot. That should take, depending on the heat of your stove, that should take like 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to be using my microwave rack. So I'm going to be putting my microwave rack inside the pot, and my pot cover is going to sit on it while I close the pot. Hope you understood that. Okay, so my pot is actually up. Put it in. Cover it. So the rule is that the pot in the middle is smaller than the bigger one. Cover it and at least leave it for 20 minutes before you check or turn it or flip it over. So now let's clean up while we wait for. So after 30 minutes, wow. So this is exactly what it looks like. So we're going to be turning it now. So you can see it's actually cooking beautifully. So I'm going to turn all and show you what it looks like. So I'm done turning. You can see it's looking well cooked. So you have to leave your stove from medium, leave it at medium low. You don't need it to be too hot, okay? So it can cook slowly until it's well baked. So I've turned it, so it should take another 20 minutes. Okay guys, after 20 minutes you can see it. So you can see it's very cooked and brown. So at this point you can leave it if you like it more brown. Okay, so let me get it off the fire. I've taken it off the fire, so you can see it is looking all good. So let's see. Wow, did you see how it looks? It's so beautiful. So thank you for following me on this amazing journey. If you know you have not subscribed, please do well to click the subscription button and also click on the bell notification so you'll be notified anytime we post a new video. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I love you. Thank you so much and see you in the next video. Okay? Thank you. Bye.